Honestly, I think people crave good leadership, and so I'm just like there with them. Like I want to be a leader that everybody wants to have lead the way through this crazy time in real estate.
There is a vacuum for people that are willing to make a decision and not just say yes to fill a chair, because it's two different things. And so
Yep.
much desire to do things well. Why in the world did you throw your name in the hat for city council? What was the driving issue or moment in time?
I'm very passionate to where I'm from.
Real estate is already looking different than it did 5 years ago. And I think 5 years from now, we'll have been through a big change and maybe cycle back to, because I think the data is going to fragment in a nasty way, in my opinion. I'm Leigh Brown. This is Real Talk. I'm so excited about my guest today, y'all, because he's the whole kit and caboodle of things in and around real estate and local small town life and HGTV and elected office. And Ben Argall is a guy that I probably could have talked to for 3 hours, but enjoy round one because I'm pretty sure that we'll have to come back and have a round two. Enjoy this conversation with Ben, and I'll see you on the other side. Well, tell my audience who Ben is, where you're located in the UP, how long you've been in and around real estate. Give them a little bit of the color commentary as they get to meet you.
Yeah. So I'm Ben Argall. I am a real estate broker, owner of Next Home Superior Living in Negaunee, Michigan. If you know Michigan, it's a large state, but I'm kind of right over here by Marquette,
So we're
the
the
shores of
mitten.
Lake Superior.
Right,
There's
you're
two
up here,
mittens
right?
actually.
Oh,
So
two
I'm
mittens.
yeah. So I'm in the UP.
So my first experience with the UP was when I was selling chainsaws and I was living in Iowa, and my dealer he spent winters in the UP, and he sent me a Polaroid, that's how old I am, of the snow outside his wood carving hut, and the snow was at 120 inches that year because he thought I didn't understand snow being in Iowa, and I said, "You're right," because I didn't have any of it in here in North Carolina. Iowa had more than North Carolina, but it ain't nothing compared to the UP.
No, we actually had our first snowfall Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We got 18 inches. So it was
Is
on
it still
Sunday showing
outside?
property. Yeah, it's starting to melt. It's supposed to be in the high 40s this week, but I think it's here to stay.
So you went out to show in it?
Yeah, yeah, 3 client appointments, 4 showings Sunday, middle of a snowstorm. It's just common up here. I mean, I
Okay,
actually
so
have snowshoes in my truck for showings in the middle of winter. Like we have to snowshoe into properties.
well, how do your clients bring snowshoes too? How do they get in? You give them a pair?
Sometimes I give them a pair. Usually I prepare them to, I mean, we're going to be hiking in like, 1,000 feet. It's going to be waist deep snow. So bring shoes or boots, dress for it.
Okay. Okay, I have no reference for this. Are you wearing hip waders so that your whole self doesn't get wet with snow?
I'm not that crazy, but I guess I'd take that back. I've been in like a whole like get up like a snowmobile suit. Like I've done that before. Depending on how much snow there is, like some properties like north of where I live, like they get 300 inches of snow a year. So sometimes showing a winter property, a camp property, like you're going to be out there and like I said, waist deep snow.
Okay, so who shovels the walk then? If you drive up, do you have to shovel it or is the
Oh, I
homeowner
carry a shovel with
responsible?
me. Honestly, I carry a tow rope. So many times I have to pull my clients out of a ditch if they're not used to driving in the snow in the UP. So it's been known to happen in showings where a client goes in a ditch and I have to pull them out. So I mean, I drive a truck for for real estate.
Obvious.
Kind of have to.
Okay, so I can't get my head around this because I mean, I have a bonnet in my bag for when it's raining, but that's to protect my vanity. It's not got to do with safety. I'm not pulling somebody out of a ditch. So could a city person even be in real estate in the UP, or does everybody have to be four-wheel driving hardcore?
Not many people have a sedan here. Most realtors have an SUV that's all-wheel drive or a truck. I mean, up here, you don't really specialize anything. Like I do everything. I'll do commercial businesses, vacation homes, vacant land, just your typical single family house. Like no one specializes here. We kind of all do everything. So it's just part of this business. I mean, I know some people refuse to do vacant land, which I can understand. Like even I had like a little scared showing vacant land. I mean, it's the only industry where you meet a stranger somewhere. And I was meeting somebody, and the first thing that pops out is the guy with the gun. Like, here we are. This is our showing.
Well, I mean, things happen. So with vacant land, can you sell vacant land in the winter with that kind of snow coverage? Because aren't they kind of buying it sight unseen?
Pretty much, but most people are buying land for recreation, so hunting. So it's more so what's the timber value? What's the terrain like? Most people, they know what they're kind of buying up here. Like the true Yoopers that are buying land, they have a sense of the area already, and they just want to be in that one particular area.
So have y'all not seen a lot of influx from other areas like, North Carolina? We've been eat up with California buyers trying to find a better environment to live in. Are they coming to the UP, or is that too
We
extreme of a
try
weather change?
keeping the UP a secret.
I
I don't
got
think we're
you.
doing a good job as that. I think the media is kind of showing how beautiful it is up here, and we definitely have seen it inflect, especially with remote work, because we do have a beautiful area, Marquette, the shores of Lake Superior.
Right,
We have a good hospital, we have a good university. I mean, it is a little more expensive to live here just because we are so far away from
mhm,
even shopping. Like the
right.
nearest shopping mall for me is 3 hours away in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Oh,
So, like the nearest Costco is 3 hours away. So, we'll do a day trip just to go to Costco.
I think that's healthy though, Ben, because that's gonna be a good budget improvement for you. You won't get sucked into the trap of, "I only need one thing."
Yeah, but and honestly, I think up here it's interesting because, like, people don't judge you with what you're wearing or what you're driving because 'cause we're just used to what we have available to us, and, like,
Mhm.
even for showings, like, some morning I might be walking 40 acres, and then afternoon I'm gonna be showing a $500,000 house, so how do you dress for both of those occasions? So
You
people
keep
really
a
do not.
blazer in your car so that you can be dressed up for the afternoon house. Because I mean, honestly, when I fuss at realtors for not being professional, it's not a big change to make yourself look like you've put an effort in, and you're a
Yeah,
man, y'all have it easy anyway.
that is true.
Because your little button-down shirt you have on right now, you could button it up, and suddenly you look like you're more put together than having it open, 2 different outfits.
That's true, yep.
So why did you get into real estate? What industry did you come from prior?
So I've been always an entrepreneur. Pretty much, I've worked over 27 jobs. I think I started working at the age of 13. But what was happening, I was 23 years old. I started art gallery manufacturing business. And from my paintings, I manufactured jewelry and other merchandise. And I had a sales rep across the US and Canada.
What?
I, yeah. So it was at
What was the name
23,
of this jewelry? Is it collectible?
not really, it was just costume jewelry is what it was. It was really cheaply made, it was, like, mass production, like, nothing too crazy, but I was at an art show selling my jewelry, and I met a realtor there, and then from that, came into a conversation over coffee, and I ended up being her licensed assistant. So I was 25 years old when I got my license, and that kind of started the whole thing.
She was good. So, did she like your jewelry? Is that how she came to
Oh, and
suck
all.
you in? She wanted access to the early cuts?
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, so
So,
I didn't know that existed in the art world, that you could be the artist who draws and then fabricates and then sells. Is that an Etsy driven path, or was this prior to 3D printing, or is
this
it
is
still
way yeah,
exist?
this was 15, well, I started this, like, 15 years ago, but one of my mentors was actually one of the first people on Etsy. She was one of the
Oh,
first, like, 1,000 artists on Etsy, and then she actually had a line at Target for a while. So she really got me into the mass production, actually how to make money with art versus just selling one painting. How can you mass produce something to actually get an income and live off of?
right.
So
I
that's
love
how it
that.
all started. Mhm.
Do you still do that?
Nope. So my
Right.
creative outlet kind of went from painting a picture to decorating and designing houses. So
Oh.
now I'm into designing and actually developing commercial development as well.
So is
So
that
real
the
estate kind of
architecture
opened my
design or the staging design or both?
everything. So
I love that.
yeah.
You
So
know,
that's how it got me on HGTV.
you've been on HGTV, which program?
So I was on season 3 of Battle on the Beach. So that was filmed in 2023. And so I had
Okay.
7 episodes that you can still stream on HBO Max.
Oh, hang
So
on. Is that the one that Kristen Smith and Cheyenne were on? Were you on the show with them?
nope. So I was with, I mean, this is the idea of this house or this program is was 3 identical houses that
Mhm.
there's 3 teams and we kind of flip them over 6 weeks and whoever increases the most value wins. And we
Oh,
all
okay.
have like a mentor. So my mentor was Allison Victoria from Winnie City Rehab in her latest series, I believe, is Sin City Rehab. So she was my mentor for 6, 7 weeks working on this house.
Did you win?
I did not win. We
Did you
should have
have fun?
won. Honestly, I did. It was so stressful, but at the same time, so here I am filming this TV show. A week before I left to film the show, I launched my next home franchise.
Oh, because of course. Just do it all at
Yeah.
the same time.
And then during this, I'm doing just shy of $1 million renovation of an office building development project. So I am not the best at planning as far as time management, but I do get everything done.
You're good at saying yes, so obviously you're very
Yeah.
pliable because you became an assistant when somebody took you to coffee, so I'm seeing a pattern here.
Yeah. I will say I'm better at saying no now. Like I'm learning boundaries. That has been kind of my thing for the last year is kind of prioritizing things. Although I did run for city council, now I'm in city council. So
Mm. Did you win?
I did, yeah.
Oh,
So I'm 1 year into
congratulations.
my 4 year term. And then I'm also the president of my local realtor association. So
Because why not? I mean, let's just do it all.
yeah. And honestly, I think people crave good leadership. And so I'm just like there with them. Like I want to be a leader that everybody wants to, to have lead the way through this crazy time in real estate.
There is a vacuum for people that are willing to make a decision and not just say yes to fill a chair because it's 2 different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's see, where do I wanna start with all of those different titles? Let's do the easy one. How did you wind up owning a brokerage franchise? Were you a partner in a previous firm that took on a new name, or did you start something out of the ground fresh?
So being an entrepreneur, I always wanted to own something. So I was like I said, I was an assistant for 6 months, and I'm like, I need to be in the leader. So I became a solo agent after 6 months of being an assistant. Then my firm sold. It was a new owner, another realtor in my office took over, and we moved offices, and it just lost its charm. And I
Ah,
kind of knew gonna not be able to buy this at some point. So I actually brought another franchise into the area that's never been to the UP before. I spearheaded that. I wasn't even a broker at that point. I was 6 years in the industry, and I was working towards my broker's license. And so I did that for a couple of years, actually, I think just a year and a half. And then I'm like, I'm going to get my license and do my own thing and become an independent. And I did that. And I realized I don't have the systems and the training to actually do this correctly.
mhm.
And so when I had an agent leave me, and he says, because you don't have any training. And for me, that was my eye opener. I'm like, okay. Oh yeah, pretty much.
Totally a
And
knife in the heart.
he was so afraid to tell me. Like it was a well-read email, and I responded back, and he was just so surprised how I responded back to his email. I said, "You will always have an open door. Whatever I end up doing, like I'm gonna be doing this for years to come." So I interviewed with 3 different franchises, and my initial phone call with Charis at Next Home, I'm like, "This is it." And I'm still to this day the quickest person to talk with Charis and sign the Next Home franchise agreement.
Not that
And
you're
so I
competitive at all, but I'm still number 1. I should have won Battle of the Beach.
Yep. Well, our craftsmanship was the best thing, and we'll talk more about that. Um, but so when I launched Next Home, that agent and his wife ended up joining my firm a few months after that when I
Oh, they
actually
came
could show them
back.
the training and the tools. Yep.
Oh, you were their next home. Oh,
Yeah.
so cute. I mean, I really appreciate James Dwiggins because he's really filling the leadership gap in real estate right now
Yeah.
to a large extent because he will have conversations that our trade association doesn't seem willing to have, and I'm very grateful to him for that.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, I can text them and get a response so quick. Like, that's one thing, like, I'm always surprised by Next Home with that. I'm never alone.
Well, that's a really important in real estate anyway, but that also goes to all the other things that you've done, which they look like something you're doing by yourself till you get into it and realize you can't do it by yourself, whether it's rehabbing a house or getting into real estate, which the media tells you we're cutthroat and all by ourselves. And it
Yep.
is such a collaborative business, but also with local politics, you might get elected on an idea or a personality or a platform and find out very quickly that if that's your attitude, nothing's going to get done because it does have to be a team sport. So I'm very curious, as somebody who has so much on your plate and so
Yep.
much desire to do things well, why in the world did you throw your name in the hat for city council? What was the driving issue or moment in time?
I'm very passionate of where I'm from. And I just know the potential that my town has. My town is Ishpeming is 6,500 people. I'm the fifth generation to live here. I
Oh,
actually
wow.
live yeah, I live in my great-grandfather's house that he built in 1937.
Oh, shut up. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I
It was
love
supposed
that
to
so
be a flip
much.
house, and they fell in love with it, I moved into it, so here I am.
Was he a trapper? I'm so curious as to what he did 100 years ago in the UP.
We're all miners. Even I worked at an iron ore mine, that was one of my jobs, so I had
Man.
my hard hat on and pretty much even way to all the way to England, we were all miners. My
Oh, that's
father
so cool.
Yep, so
Okay, so you live in his house. That's amazing. And you
yeah.
love your town. So you felt like they needed a native on the board or somebody
I
who
mean,
cared
it was
intently.
pretty much natives here, but I felt like it was lacking direction,
Mhm.
and during the time, they just let go our city manager, and I'm like, "We need to hire a city manager of quality that's not just somebody looking for their last retirement gig." And I
Mhm.
feel like that's what we had in the past. And I think we've been through 10 city managers since I've been a citizen here, which is insane.
10?
If not more. Like, it was rough. And then watching the city council meetings just operate and just go on for, like, I think the longest meeting was 4.5 hours long. Like, this
For
stuff should
what?
only take an hour and a half, 2 hours max. So just watching things unfold, that's kinda where I'm like, "I had enough." Like, I'm just gonna throw my name in the ring and see what happens. And the election was a really good rat election. I mean, it was no smear campaigns at all. It was
Oh,
I think
yay.
there was, like, 9 or 11 people running for the 3 open seats, and it's been running great. I had a city council meeting for the budget review last night, and it was, like, 40 minutes. It was fantastic, well ran. And I feel like now with our new city manager, things are getting done. I know it's not gonna happen overnight, but where my office is just 3 miles away, and their city manager changed their downtown in 5 years. Like, the grant money they got, I mean, even the building I renovated, like I said, I did, like, $700,000 into a building in downtown Nagani, which people thought I was crazy doing, but I love my
Mhm.
office, I love my brokerage, and the city loves what I'm doing, and even the citizens. So if I can bring that kind of development to my hometown and just start spearheading some projects here, I think it's just going to snowball into something bigger. So that's kind of leadership is why I kind of went for city council is just A, to be a positive influence. Luckily, I have a background in owning businesses and finance and understand how grants work. So I had a little upper hand, I guess, for being on city council and sitting on different boards.
So usually people in real estate, we are pilloried for destroying areas because growth and they
Yeah.
pin a lot of things on us. And even when real estate professionals do economic development work, it's usually about other industries, other professions, and what they bring to the table. But what
Yep.
you're talking about is how your brokerage and your development and your renovations are themselves a driver of economic development. I really hope that more of our colleagues in real estate catch what you said and go to their economic development meetings with a different perspective about how even a tiny real estate office hires people and pays rent and is active in the community and is helping people by being ambassadors of where we live to find their place to hunt or to find somewhere to live. So I think we should reset a lot of our economic development activities throughout the country with that. Hey, we're economic development too.
Yeah.
I Man, I'm gonna have to get all over
And
this because
it's
let's
interesting
go.
because, like, we have so many programs locally, like, I do work with the local land bank in the brownfield. An article just got posted last week about my brokerage working with the MEDC because I got a grant for $236,000 for my renovation for a blighted property. So, I mean, being in a small town, development, like, people don't like change, like, let's be honest. So, when I did my project, I'm a local doing a project. And once they saw the project completed, now they have trust in me. So I
Right.
purchased another building and I got a Michigan State Land Bank tore down that building for me. It was so blighted, I couldn't do anything with it.
Oh, that's so
And
sad.
usually I'm the one that wants to restore. So like my office that I did, my first project was building in 1878 and would be completely gutted it to the studs. But I still kind of kept as much character that
Right.
I could. So the next project I'm doing is right behind my brokerage, and that hopefully will be a 12-unit apartment complex is the goal. Mainly because there was 2 apartments in that building that I tore down, and then my office building had 2 apartments before I converted it all into commercial. So I'm kinda wanna rehab and put back housing stock that I took away. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing the apartment complex for my next development.
while also recognizing the design integrity, because 12 units is not going to devastate an area like these very soulless 300-unit buildings that are getting shoved in everywhere. All right, so you also talk about going to your first budget meeting. So for anybody that's watching this show that's remotely interested in local politics, I have found a lot of people are interested in it, but they will not put their name in the hat, not just because politics by its nature is a blood sport, but because they don't really know what they don't know. And as a
Yep.
private citizen, once you get elected, now you're exposed to committees and information that was never visible to the world. Did somebody take you under their wing, or did you have a specific pattern to your thinking for how you were going to get yourself educated to do the job well?
Well, I mean, I did take accounting in college, and then do the books at the brokerage, but government accounting is a whole different ballgame with the different funds.
It's
And
designed to be
so
a mess.
I think so. So before my first meeting, Gray, he's our finance director, and I'm like, Gray, I need a simple, like 1 hour appointment with you just to explain everything and how it works. And me and another newly elected council member went in for that meeting, and he went through it for us. And honestly, Gray could be a college professor because he actually is so patient and explained things so well, and like it made such a big difference. And luckily, like our last audit for 2024, like it was the first year where we didn't screw up. Like it was truly like we're finally on the right path. I will say that's probably because of our finance director, Gray, and I'm very happy that we have him. So.
Yeah, but he was probably over the moon that you even reached out and said, "Hey, educate us," because that means
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not
He
playing
was
catch
shocked
up
that we
later in the
actually
meeting.
asked, and and that's what it takes, though. Like, if you have a question, you just call the right person. Like, and we have like I said, our city staff, it's small but mighty. I mean, and we have a staff that they actually care. So if you ask a question, I mean, between all of them, like, the knowledge they have is incredible.
I mean,
I mean,
they
I'm
live
afraid
there
that they're gonna
too.
retire.
Well, I think too often we watch what happens on C-SPAN and on TikTok and on the news and think that's real, but especially in a small town, I live in a medium-sized town of about 25,000, we all know each other. So
Yeah.
if you start tacking that onto the big issues, you lose sight of, well, what are we doing about the Parks and Rec and this issue over here and that, because we're gonna see each other at the grocery store. And
Yep.
this last election got a little bit unhappy around the mayoral race because one candidate was turning off comments and stuff online, and that feeds the wrong side of things.
Yep.
Now that we're on the other side, there's this great sense of, okay, we all live here, but it's regrouping instead of we never had to go there. So I'm really encouraged to hear that in your crowded field, nobody went there. And they decided
No.
instead, if we're going to be neighbors, let's act like neighbors.
Yep. I'm not gonna lie, I was somewhat hesitant, mainly because I am a realtor and I am public facing, and I didn't know how it was going to affect my business. So that was kinda top of mind, and honestly, I can say I don't think it damaged or hurt my business at all. Maybe it's helping, I don't know, but it's been pretty positive.
I mean, you probably won't know for the long haul because in real estate, we can't always see the downstream of what we're doing today. I mean, I know that when I've run for office, because of course I've lost when I've run, it's been a net positive. And of course, there's always somebody that wants to burn me down because I disagree with them. But if I'm honest, they were probably never going to use me anyway because we're just diametrically opposed. And okay, it's a free market. You can use somebody else. But overall, I think the public respects when people put their lives and their businesses on display for an elected office because they know they're not willing to do it, so they're kinda glad you did.
Yeah. And
Yay,
honestly, like,
Ben, woo!
I don't get that many complaints, like, the first snowfall, I only got 1 plowing complaint, so it's not too bad.
You're not at 300 inches yet, so I'm sure give that time, that'll work out.
Yeah.
So, in the time you've been in and around real estate, you've seen the development angle. You've obviously been a end user of real estate. Now you're looking at it from an elected official's perspective, and you've got the brokerage perspective. Obviously, the formation of HGTV changed real estate forever because now consumers can just stare at it nonstop. And they're
Yep.
staring at a market that's not theirs because usually they're bi-coastal markets, not the normal people markets. You're in the middle of the country in the cold part, and I'm in the middle of the Southeast in a pretty average area. That ain't us on TV, but we have to
Nope.
undo those perspectives all the time. But then you became the guy on TV, though. So I'm so curious as to what you thought it was going to be going in, and then what was the most surprising thing you learned along the way?
I guess I had no idea what to expect going into it. Like, I got on an airplane and they said, "We're gonna pick you up at the airport, and that's gonna be it." And I'm like, "Here's here's what you need to pack." And that's kind of how it
You didn't
happened.
get any more information than that?
I didn't know really where we were actually gonna be. Like, I knew the city, but I didn't know, like,
That's
where we're gonna
crazy.
be filming. Yeah, I didn't even know who the competitors were, anything like that. So until the first day, like, they gave us, like, a pin in Google Maps to drive to that pin with our
That's
rental
creepy.
cars. And
Talk
we
about
get pretty
trust.
much out, a van comes out, and they have the mics and the cameras, and they're micing you up, and they put you in another car and start filming. That was my first thing on set.
Like a hostage situation? Because I feel
Pretty
like
much, to
was
bring you
that
to the
Ocean's
house.
11 or no, the Italian Job?
Yeah, it was exactly like a hostage situation. It was the most weird thing. I'm nervous too. Like, I hated being on camera. I was not ready for this at all. And here I am in the back of a van getting filmed, and I'm mic'd. Here we go.
But you're the guy who says yes, so this is really on you because you do say yes to everything as it turns out.
The sad thing is, I said no for the first 2 seasons. I said yes for season 3.
You're like, "Fine, I'm worn down." Alright, so you're in this mystery van, mic'd up, going to a mystery location.
Yeah.
Did your family get to go with you, or was this just you going off into the unknown?
It was just me. Honestly, I left my brokerage, I left my house. My family was not even in the area. So I had, like, another broker. I had 2 friends that were brokers in other companies help manage my business when I was gone.
Oh, I love
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
That's really what real
So,
estate's like, that people don't ever see that side.
oh my god, the collaboration with the people that I have in different brokerages is fantastic, and I'm glad we have that locally.
Okay, so they're covering for you on location, your family doesn't know where you are, you could have been murdered in this van and nobody would have found you
They knew that
except
I
the film
was
crew.
in Alabama, but that was really about it. But because they were supposed to take our phones away, I thought, and they didn't, luckily. So I could actually still conduct some business while filming. I mean, frowned upon, but, like, let's be honest, like, I'm not making that much money off of HGTV. Like, you're there
Right.
for just celebrity status. You're not making money.
So they did pay
Um,
you a stipend or something? I didn't know if they
we
paid
got paid
people
a
or not.
stipend. I mean, a hotel, they gave us a rental car. So my partner, my friend Pete, who's a contractor, I was a designer, he was the contractor in our duo. So we shared a vehicle, and pretty much we worked 5 days on, 2 days off. I mean, it was 12-hour days. So I was mic'd up 12 hours a day. So it was so strange, like, thinking they have every recording of what you were saying for 12 hours a day. Like, even, like, the stupid comments and the swearing underneath your breath. I mean, I remember going to the bathroom, like, "Turn off the mic, I'm going pee," you know? I mean, that was the stuff that you wouldn't think about behind the scenes, but it's happening.
But
I was
did it
surprised.
make you did it make you better? Like, if I'm just sitting here thinking, if I had a microphone on, I would probably finally clean up my foul mouth, which I have been working on for years, if I knew somebody was listening to the recording for 12 hours a day. Did you find yourself, like,
No,
at the
it's
best version of
construction.
Ben?
It's construction. If you're around construction workers, you know how it is. I
I
mean,
it's
there
like
was
merchandise.
things that I just knew, A, couldn't say, and there was things, like, you can't say, like, any business name. So, like, you had to, like, they were always happy with me because I always use big box store instead of saying Lowe's or for getting materials. So, that's really what happened is, like, you learn how to talk for TV purposes.
Mhm.
The thing that surprised me most was how much staff there were.
Oh,
Like, I was surprised, like, we had 1 audio guy for my house. We had 3 camera people. Like, knowing the staff that was involved was insane to me. I believe, like, 6 weeks of filming, I think the hotel budget was over $500,000 for all the staff.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so when you start thinking about, yeah, there was over 500 people, I think, involved in the whole production between New York City and being on set. So, like, I didn't realize how big the production actually was. That was surprising. Even the well, I'll say what surprised me the most was our architecture. I can work on houses. Like, most of the houses I've lived in were built in 1880s through 1950s. So going to the beach, these houses are on stilts. Like that for me was mind blowing. And also
Oh,
being,
yeah.
yeah, so it's
You wouldn't
I'm
see
used to
that up north
snow.
because it would be snow underneath those stills.
Yeah. So that was a big change, and then figuring out code for hurricanes. I
Oh,
know
you had to
code
make
for,
them
like, snow
storm
loads on
hardy?
roofs, but I don't know code for hurricane winds for windows and doors.
So how did you learn that? Because they didn't give you any chance to prep before you got there, and it's not your expertise. They just hand you the book and say, "Learn it right
Good luck
quick."
figure this out, and honestly, like, that was my biggest complaint, like, I need some guidance here. Luckily, one of the other like, my competition, he lived in Florida. I'm like, "Give me a piece of advice," and he did. We'll say that. And that was the thing that the cast was awesome. Like, we got along. Like, we broke the rules, unfortunately. Like, we had dinner almost every night.
Is
I
that a
guess
is
it's
that a rule?
you're not supposed to be friends with your competition in their
Well, that's
eyes.
stupid. I
Season 1 and
mean,
they want the drama. They wanna sell TV.
the drama is supposed to be about the actual house, not the humans.
Yep. And so I production had to change their way of thinking because, like, to this day, I still talk to all the cast members.
Oh, that's so
Like,
good.
we had dinner every single night for 6 weeks together. Like, of course, we're gonna be close. And we shared insider scoop that we heard. Like, we helped each other out. And I think it made for a better show. Like, I think out of all the 4 seasons, season 3, our season, was the best because of the talent and because of how it all worked together.
Well, do real people get these houses? Are these being done for somebody? Are they going to be lived in, or are they?
No, they're all one company owns all of them. A lot of them are Airbnbs, and so they have a
Oh,
contract with that. Like, I did find out, like, since these houses were so close on the beach, like, to the ocean, like, you can't do more than, like, $150,000 worth of renovations, otherwise, we just
okay.
have to build a new house further back. So they weren't the greatest houses to begin with, um, but honestly, like, I would live in it. Um, but when we got them, they appraised at, like, 700,000, and
Mhm.
then when I'd be left, I think my house that I did appraised at, like, 1.2, which is
Nice.
crazy because 'cause I've never sold a house for that much. Like, I've sold commercial properties for over 1,000,000, but I've never sold a residential house for 1,000,000.
You're like, "Y'all, this is half my town. You don't even know."
Like, I've even me personally, I've owned so many houses, but I never paid more. My most expensive house I ever purchased was 65,000, which is
So,
crazy to people.
can you still spend 65,000 in your part of Michigan these days, or is that same house is now 225?
So it's not that high, but it's about 175. Yeah.
But
I
you're
mean,
3 hours
I buy
away from
fixer-uppers
Costco.
is what I buy, but I mean, since COVID, my market has doubled its median price.
Alright, so looking back at your time on the beach, being somebody who's in an entirely different climate, did it make you wanna move to Alabama, to the coast, or did it give you, I'm good now, I don't need to be a beach man"?
Honestly, like, before I got into real estate, like, I have a lot of designer friends in Palm Beach, Florida, and I've had multiple job offers to go down to Florida, and, like, I like the 4 seasons. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I need, like, a distinct 4 seasons. Like, my favorite season is autumn. Give me the fall leaves, the colors, the crisp air, like, that's what personally, I like the reminder of constant change. So, it's just like, I know we're living when I see the change, like, almost every single day living up here in the UP.
Which is also what we love about real estate is the constant change, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, would you do another TV show, or does that scratch that itch for you and you feel like you've done what you're gonna do in that space?
If I did it, I would renegotiate my contract. That's one thing I learned too. I would definitely ask for different compensation. I realized my sense of design is not HGTV design. I
Mm,
am more of a classy, more of a luxury, craftsmanship kind of person. I'm not into the quick trend stuff. Like, that will
right.
never be me. I love the use of color. I think that's what drove me crazy at my house, on a beach. It was all white, and that's just not who I am at all. As you can see with my
Especially in
decor
a
behind
beach
me.
house. Beach
Yeah.
houses welcome color.
And it was the only thing about the whole experience too is like me and my mentor, we were that was the drama. We didn't get along
Oh,
at
yeah?
all. Yeah, me and Allison didn't see eye to eye on a lot, and I think production loved how we were heated with
So
each
y'all
other.
aren't buddies? Y'all don't have a little text thread going every day?
Not every day. I mean, I text her, it was probably about 4 months ago, but The other people, like Ty Pennington, I love. Like, I could talk to Ty all the time, but he's been to the UP multiple times.
Well,
So,
he looks nice on TV, so that's the real him. He
what you
seems
see
like a
on
good
TV
guy.
is really him
Oh,
off
that's
camera.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Yay. And obviously the you that we see on TV is gonna be the real you if we go back and
Yeah,
watch
only
that
thing
season.
so the first episode, I cry. I'm not gonna lie. I actually cry and shed tears the first episode. It was unfortunate because really it was like the last week of filming, and I finally like broke down the last week.
Yeah.
So Kelsey, she is the one that cried a lot more, but technically in the whole season showing on TV, I'm the one that cries first. So we always kind of joke about that.
Well, whatever draws in the viewers, it's all about the streams and the clicks, right?
Yep.
Which is also why we should make sure there is no more video camera in the halls of Congress. If we could eliminate streams and clicks of C-SPAN, we would have a much better functioning elected uh, group of officials.
If only.
Oh, do y'all live stream your city council meetings?
We do. Yeah.
So do the residents watch it on YouTube, or is it like the dedicated 8 people who watch every meeting?
Well, we have our people up we call them the front row. They're there every single meeting.
We love
And
them.
that's okay. That's accountability. I think our viewership is down because our meetings are boring. And that was kind of like our slogan was to make our meetings boring again so nobody watches it. Like there was
Fair.
points where our meetings were being watched from all like every state because they were so entertaining because it was just like, why did he just say that? Like it was just always entertaining to watch these
Yeah,
meetings.
yeah, notoriety is not always something to strive for.
No, not in this sense.
All right, so before we wrap up our episode, since there's obviously 1,000 angles that you can go in, I want to hear about your time as local board president. And so, for those of y'all that are not in real estate that are watching this show, in real estate, we have our trade associations on the local level, we have the state, and we have national. And I think the most important work happens in our local board of realtors just because that's where we deal with planning and zoning and we deal with city councils, county commissions, or parish council if you're in Louisiana. And we've got to deal with school boards and water and sewer and the practical application of real estate. When you are the leader of a profession, you're also visible in a different way than you are on city council or as a broker at all. So have you enjoyed your time leading, and what's been your favorite moment?
It's been an interesting part. Like, I've been president for 1 year. I have one more year of my president term. But we are AE of 42, 43 years retired. So
Oh.
for our new AE, who luckily has been with our association for over a decade. So it was kind of an easy transition. But it's more so like we're at a blank slate. We have a new AE. We can make all the changes. We're not doing it the way it's always been. So it's been fun kind of embracing the change and kind of pushing my limits a little bit. I
Mhm,
think I'm more progressive than people want me to be.
mhm.
But I see that being really the future and to kind of help make our profession better for decades to come.
Well, real estate is already looking different than it did 5 years ago, and I think 5 years from now, we'll have been through a big change and maybe cycle back to because I think the data is going to fragment in a nasty way, in my opinion. But then we now have AI, and so I think AI may actually wind up creating some kind of a national MLS data that the associations have been fighting all these years. And once you have it for AI, then we just have to refigure out cooperation again. So I think it's going to be wild. But if you're not the one thinking way out, say, hey, well, what if? And look at this, then
Yep.
you don't even know if you're playing in the right arena. So I do hope our leadership will start thinking way out and getting more curious because I think that's how we survive. Well, any big change is through being curious.
Exactly. And we just had like our whole board retreat. And that was one of the questions. What happens if we have a statewide MLS or a national MLS? Like, just have these conversations now versus just reacting. Let's be proactive.
So how did the room react? Were half of them like, I don't never want to see it? Or is everybody thinking, well, it's probably going to happen. So what if?
I think we know the state stuff is going to happen sooner than later. I think that's just writing on the wall, and that's one reason why we switched to a different MLS system and having our own association MLS because we know it's going to be happening.
Right.
So I think overall, like we're ready, like we know it's going to happen, but we have to do some more deep thinking with it. So, I mean, there was definitely a pause when we were talking about it. Like, let's actually think this through. So, I mean, it's something that we're going to have to continue to think and just see how things evolve in the next months or years.
And none of us should be scared of that because more questions should lead us to more ideas, which means we land somewhere together and it might not be where we thought we were going to land. But without the questions, you just won't get caught flat footed and none of us can afford that anymore.
No.
Well, Ben, if somebody wants to reach out to you to find out about your architecture design life, your economic development life, your political life, your TV life, your jewelry life, or what they should do if they have to wear snowshoes to show property, what's the best way for them to find you?
Honestly, my website, benjaminargall.com, that has links to everything for all my different hats that I wear.
And of course, friends, I will have all of his links in the show notes for this episode. So if you are listening to this or watching it while you're sweating to the oldies, don't stress out. I've got all your stuff. And then I think y'all should go follow this man because, Ben, you're leading quite an interesting life. And I'm just so grateful that you came on the show to give us some perspective on so many different things. And I'm just like mainly excited here about how many economic development volunteers could start grabbing up that we're valid too, which I think that's part of the challenge we face in real estate is realtors figuring out their own validity in the economic picture. So thank you for leading the way on that.
You're welcome. We could probably talk another hour on that alone.
I totally will have you back. And by the way, y'all, if you want Ben to come back, leave a comment, hit the heart, and let's just we'll plan for that. We'll have a part 2 in the near future. We'll talk about economic development grants and revitalization in a way that honors our communities. Cause I know that's the fight we're having here. Like just as you wrap up, I'm in my historic building in downtown Concord, which I wanted to own real estate in my downtown. And we are in a slow revitalization process. But in that process, there's a lot of confusion and concern in the community because it's hard for it to stay true to its roots, which frankly, that's the draw for a lot of our smaller towns is when you figure out how to embrace the history without slamming too much boring, terrible Soviet-looking architecture into it, which is what I think these new apartments look like, but that's just me because I'm old. So I think it's a conversation happening all over the country as we figure out who we are and what we want to be.
Yep.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. We'll circle up and you'll get to come back. And friends, make sure you hit the bell to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.